Hello everyone, and thank you for attending today's video, which is delighted to introduce you to Avram, the CEO and co-founder of Lendlord. And as an investor myself, as a landlord myself, I'm working with many investors. There's so much you can do within a property portfolio that can be improved by using tech. And that's why I'm really pleased to kind of share with you what Lendlord can offer and how it can help improve your kind of digital life. So Avram, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks, Rob. It's a pleasure joining the call. It's a pleasure to be here. And yes, I think the good thing is for property investor, like especially this time, is that they can enjoy from the trend of the technology that post-COVID is now like evolving more and more and provide more and more tools for them to use. This is exactly our focus at Lendlord.
Yeah, definitely, and agree. And the plan today is to share with everybody kind of different tips and tools, and certainly Lendlord is kind of one of those that can help you improve your management of your portfolio, help you give a bit more insight in terms of what's actually happening within the portfolio. Because yeah, from my experience running a portfolio for the last sort of 15, 16 years, and there's multiple moving parts, it's very difficult to keep track of. You can get started on a spreadsheet for sure, but that gets old very quick and gets difficult very quick. So yeah, I think from a structure point of view, just to give everybody context, the plan is really to show an insight into how Lendlord works, how it can assist both landlords and investors that may be a bit more passive with their portfolio, and ultimately give you a bit of an idea and an insight into what Lendlord can do. So Avram, if you can take it away, and we can maybe kick it off with the beginning part of the product's overview.
Good thing, yeah. So as you said, I think the main thing is that people can now, like property investors and Lendlord, can ditch their spreadsheets. This is our main goal. So you can see many softwares that take care of the property management side for the landlord, the property manager.
Yeah.
But usually, in order to manage your finances, to manage your investments, you use a spreadsheet, or you find other solutions. And we also use paperwork for that.
Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons we developed Lendlord, to help landlords keep track of their data, their finances.
Yeah.
And we'll start with demo. I can call this demo adopt a digital life. And there are several principles that I think that if landlords can follow, then they can make their life much easier, and use digital tools to grow their property business. So let me share the screen, Rob, and we can start. Yeah,
that'd be great. And also, just as I suppose an extra introduction, if there were, one of the reasons why I think this is really valuable at the moment is from working with multiple investors as well. I see people starting off at different starting points. Some might have a portfolio that they have already had for a number of years, but they just haven't moved to a digital structure in terms of either their general bookkeeping or their maintenance or their management or their portfolio plan. So their strategy of what that portfolio could kind of continue to grow to be, all the way through to investors that are just starting out and maybe want to get their first property, but don't necessarily have a full idea as to the best way to kind of consistently manage that portfolio and keep track of all the different kind of data points. So delighted to kind of share with you Landlord and how that can really assist both parties, whether you're kind of experienced or whether you're brand new to property. So I can see now the screen share, Avram, so thanks for that. And it'd be great to have a bit of dig into the different features.
Perfect. Yeah, so this is the main dashboard of the app. The app is available on the desktop version, from your web browser, but also from the mobile. So if you use the web browser from the mobile, and we have also an app, or Android app, and iOS is coming soon. We launched the product in late 2019. So far, we have more than over 4,000 users that use currently the software. And the software is, the core functionality is free to use. So as you can see, in the dashboard, you have a high-level overview of your portfolio. You can see the current value of your properties, the current equity that you have on your portfolio, and the LTV, the loan-to-value ratio. And if I speak about the principles that we recommend to follow, the first one is to adopt a digital mindset. And when I say that, I mean you need your data accessible from everywhere. We call it like carry your portfolio in your pocket. So basically, if you use Lendlord, you upload the data, then you have it everywhere. And if you keep tracking it and use the automation of the platform, then you have up-to-date data at any time that basically you need it. And the chance that you will miss something that you need to do is also, going down.
Yeah.
So the first thing on Lendlord is first is to take a look on your My Portfolio. So if you're just getting started, you have an empty portfolio, you need to add your first property. And basically, we don't force anything. So there are no mandatory fields.
Yep.
You can add some basic fields like the property address, purchase date, purchase price, the value. We integrated the platform to the API of property data, so you can also get some estimation on the property value, the rental income, and I would also put some data on the mortgage that you have. And then once you do that, you can see the metrics starting to be created. So you can see how much you have in loan balance, what is the current equity. And then this is the way to start building the portfolio.
And once that information's kind of in there, do you need to regularly update it? Is it kind of time consuming to kind of keep on top of the portfolio? What's your experience to date with other users?
So so you need to spend time in the beginning. So it might take a few, it can be between 1 hour even to 2 hours, but you can use the help of our team also to upload data. But but you just need to do it once. After that, you will get reminders to update the data on if there is a key event that let's say that you need to renew. For instance, okay, so we have fields to update your insurance details, okay? So you need to update you can update the policy number, the premium that you're paying, etc. So if you have a renewal date, the end date of insurance, you will get a reminder, and then you can log into your account and update the new policy on Lendlord. This is for instance, and you get also a weekly report, and the report is an interactive report, so you can review your data. And let's say that you need to change the rent, for instance, for support, you can do it from the interactive report. So after you upload all the data, you just need to tweak it from time to time, and I will also show how you can use some automation in order to make it much easier to track the data.
That's great.
So when I say track everything, we capture a lot of attributes. You don't need to fill everything, but you have the general fields, the mortgage fields, extra property details. So if it's an HMO property, you can put the license due date and get alert. Yeah. The property activity, property construction, etc. So this is more enhanced details on the property. Then the landlord insurance details, the gas certificates dates. So basically you can get alerts if you need now to renew the certificate.
Yeah.
Also for electrical check. The tenants, it's a separate page, so you can update the tenants details and the tenancies.
And especially just on those points as well, Avram, especially now with so many requirements as a landlord, it's important to keep on track of things like gas certificates, electricity certificates. Whether you're self-managing, our experience is whether you're self-managing or using letting agents as well, just knowing internally within your own portfolio where those key dates and milestones are at is really helpful. And again, it's very important to kind of have that updated. And as part of that, the notifications that Lendlord kind of sends out, I think is really helpful with that.
Absolutely. So once you put any date on Lendlord, you can see the alerts. So you see if you have a landlord insurance end date, you see the date, you see the property that you need to update. Also for mortgage product expiry date. And you can have also for if it's electrical check, gas certificate, tenancy agreement end date, And there is a dedicated page, the Insights page, so you can review all the next due dates for the next 12 months.
Yeah.
And so basically you can also integrate it to your own Google Calendar. So you can what's also if you are not logged in to the platform, and it also get like an email notification before the due date, so you can take action. So yeah, it's very important in terms of like landlords that you have many like a lot of regulation, compliance things that you need to do. And so basically the alerts can help you be on top of everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so the next principle is the automation side of things. So in terms of properties, it's important to put all the details of the properties to see your metrics, how much you have in equity, the portfolio LTV, etc. The second side of the data management is the cash flow.
Yes.
And for that, we have a model, we call it profit and loss. So here you can see the income and expenses on the entire portfolio or on a specific property.
Yeah.
And of course, you can track the income and expenses on an ongoing basis. And here, the great thing is to use automation. So if I look at the technology development, one of the main things that happened in the last few years is the open banking. So
yes.
in Lendlord, we integrated the platform to the open banking, and you can manage your transactions directly from your bank account. So
amazing.
Yeah, so the best way to do it, let me switch to this account. So if you link bank account, we use providers regulated by the FCA, is a global provider, Plaid.
Yeah.
So you can be redirected to your bank account, just like pick the bank. Then you need to put your credentials.
Yeah.
Each bank like basically has its own way to log in.
Yeah.
All secured. It's even not Lendlord now. It's like using like the Plaid services, the server, and you just do the linkage. Once you do that, we get a read-only access to the bank account.
Yeah.
And since then, like you can retrieve, like the platform will retrieve your transactions every day to the platform. So you just need to map it. If it's like an income, it's like rent, you can pick the property. If it's a rent payment, in Lendlord, you can also track your rent collection, so you can attach it to a payment from a tenant.
Yeah.
And you can allocate it to this property. And by that, you can keep track your profit and loss, up to date, the cash flow with your bank account.
Which is great. There's a few things that personally I think is really exciting with that. Partly because as a landlord, it's very difficult sometimes to appreciate what the running costs, the true running costs of a particular property might be, and a particular portfolio might be. And you might have an idea as to what the value could be, or you might have ideas to what the rental income might be, but you just don't have insight into the actual running costs. And this solves that problem really well. And also the directive kind of banking integrations is perfect, because it means you don't have to manually input all of those transactions into, as I said, into a sheet and have to kind of worry about how they all connect. This is a perfect solution for that.
Definitely. Yeah, so this is the easiest way, this is a recommended way, but if you want to do it manually, you can also do it manually in Lendlord, of course. So you can like enter your transactions manually, or you can upload spreadsheets.
Yeah.
What we also develop around like the automation is like a wizard that you get every time you log in with the new transactions.
Yeah.
Like an easier way to map transactions to property and tenants. You click allocate, and then you get the next one. And if it's expense, you can also map it to a property and also put a category to it. And after that, you can basically review the entire cash flow on the profit and loss page. So you basically see, okay, so what was my net cash flow in April? and you can also see what was your net cash flow in the entire 2021.
Perfect.
By the way, this is a demo account. This is not my portfolio. It looks, yeah, I wish, but just like with the demo of fake data, but just like to demonstrate the things.
That's good. It helps to give context to how different properties can influence and impact a portfolio.
Definitely, and you can review the monthly and also the yield over the years.
Yeah.
And the cash on cash. One of the good things with Lendlord is like the valuation side of that. And if you go to your My Portfolio again, we take the cash flow data and you can switch to the performance view, and then you can compare your properties by, let's say, 10 years ROI.
Yeah.
So we have a place, I don't know if we have the time to show it, but you can put predictions for each property in terms of what you think is going to be your property appreciation over the next 10 years.
Yeah.
But you can also take a look on what was the last 12 months, cash flow.
That's really interesting, Abraham, because you can benchmark then the different properties in your portfolio, can't you? So you can see here in this test account, you've got properties in Bolton, Bristol, Birmingham, London, and contextually, you might have an idea as to where those different properties are performing. But here you've got a very simple side-by-side performance. You can see which properties are kind of hitting the correct milestones, if it were for you.
Definitely. And if you also, you can also put prospect properties, and then you can compare their metrics as well. So you can just like eliminate all the existing properties. The feature thing is like in My Portfolio page is a very strong feature, because basically you can, let's say that you have a portfolio that combined with private owned properties and company. You can also separate it by that. If you have different companies, you can also filter by that. And the comparison of properties is very important. Another feature that we have is different ownership. So let's say that, for instance, James holds 12 properties and Kate 2, and they together they have like ownership of 12. But if just the share of Kate on those 2 properties, you can see that based on the percentage of the ownership of Kate, you can tell how much was basically her cash flow, or cash on cash, and the last net cash flow. And if I switch the performance to the default one, you can see also how much is basically her equity, and same for James. So it's also something that you can manage an account together with your partners. So you can see like the overview of the entire portfolio, but also drill down into like a specific owner and see what was like his share in the profit, in the equity, etc.
Yeah, that's really good, because I think we're seeing more and more use cases where companies are set up to own assets, and that could be for a whole host of reasons. Maybe it's a development company. Maybe it's a portfolio with a particular joint venture partner. Maybe it's kind of an asset that you're owning as partners in terms of with the spouse, for example. So there's a whole host of reasons why people might have multiple ownership. This gives a very nice way of understanding how that portfolio kind of ownership can break down, and again, a very kind of easy way to do that. So I think that's a really, really interesting feature. Well done.
Yes, definitely. Like another feature that we released like during the COVID period is the stress test rental cover ratio. So here you can basically take a look on your portfolio at risk. So you can put, like if you have problems that you expect with tenants, or like you just want to take into account like what is the worst case scenario. You can put the reduced rate. There are like the rate of the LHA universal credit rates that perhaps you can put it as like a benchmark. And then like what is your cover currently, what is like the cover at risk for a specific property in the entire portfolio. You need like to be like, with this number like the highest that you can. Another important insight that we provide is into finance. So you can take a look on the analysis of the portfolio in terms of which lenders are available for you for new mortgage, which lenders are not.
Yeah.
So basically, we use the data that you enter, like our machine engine basically can analyze the criteria of different lenders. Also here, it really depends on the applicant. So if, let's say, Dan applied to a mortgage by his own, then different criteria is applied. But if he's doing it together with Kate, it will change, or together with James, it will change. So we take also into account. We can also see like specific products from lenders in Lendlord.
Perfect. And are these just kind of assumptions or estimates, Abraham, or are these based upon kind of live data? Like, is there a kind of a feed example, like you have the open banking with the transaction? Is that a feed as well with the mortgages? So an investor or landlord can see up to date which sort of products might be available to them?
Yes, so great question. Yes, we are connected to a sourcing platform for mortgage products. So you can basically put a scenario of estimated property value, rent, and the required loan. You can see results from different lenders.
Nice.
And this is something that is, and this is like the uniqueness on that is that it's based on your portfolio.
Yes.
We also run like criteria search for you, and we compare the different lenders based on that. So perhaps we can eliminate options that are not relevant for you. We can also see if you apply as a company, you will see like higher rates now. So it's also something that you can take advantage in when you use a Lendlord. You can also take a look on remortgage. So if you click remortgage, you will get the list of properties that you enter on my portfolio. You just need to select one, and then we will take all the data from my portfolio. Just like how many years I want to mortgage, and then run search. So basically it's also, and of course, worth to mention, it's not replacing a mortgage broker. It's just like indicative rates. I can tell you that like in most cases we are accurate like almost 90%. So it's good, but it's still like you need to assess the results with a mortgage broker or with the lender, of course, but definitely provide you with more information.
Yeah, amazing.
Yes, and I think we have like another principle like very important to do, and this is like also something that related to your area, Rob, is the analysis of so it's like for existing properties and also for new properties. So we have the deal analyzer, and this is like basically to take a look on the numbers of the new deal. So you can put the purchase price, the expected monthly rent, and with our defaults, you can see like immediately what will be your return in the first year.
Yeah.
The cash on cash, the cap rate of this deal, and what will be on the long term. And then you can basically start to tweak the data. So you say, okay, how much I want or I need to put in cash, and you see like how it impacts the metrics.
Yeah.
The loan details, and you can use here as well our loan explorer to get more accurate rates.
Yeah.
And the monthly costs. And also you can play with the long-term assumptions. So how many years you want to keep this property, what is the annual property appreciation that you expect this property, the rent appreciation, the inflation, and also the occupancy rate. So, and like, the recommendation is like to be conservative. So, so in terms of purchase costs, put or like anything you need, you think that you are going to pay, you put like some extra even just to see like how it will impact the metrics. Like if you put the worst case scenario, if you're going to like a refurbishment or furnishing to this property, you can put it as well and see like how basically impact your return And we have the same also for flip deals. So it's also something that you and another thing is that you can also evaluate your existing properties. So if I go to my portfolio, I can take a property that I already purchased and click Deal Analyzer. So the platform will take the data from my portfolio and can see like how this property is basically going to behave in the next 10 years. And you can take a look on also the development on a chart. So like what is the development of your property value and equity based on your assumptions and the development of your cash flow.
Yeah, that's really great, Avi. So from our side, when we're looking at properties as an example for our own portfolio, and also when we're speaking with other investors, it's very difficult sometimes to, I suppose, compare properties as kind of like for like opportunities, and then also to consider properties over the longer term. So there might be multiple phases in that buying process, because you've got the phase of actually being able to source it, and then you can have some properties to consider. And then looking at just baseline metrics, what maybe is the gross rental yield for a property, and that gives you an idea as if it's at least in the right ballpark. But this really takes it to kind of the next level, where you can then start to kind of dig into the longer term plan of what that portfolio could look like as a combined individual properties, how they start to play out when you maybe need to spend more on a refurbishment than you might anticipate. And it just helps to really assess potential opportunities, I think, at a really advanced level. So it's a really good insight into how those different properties can impact your portfolio. And then you can make much more educated and confident choices when you are actually looking at those next opportunities.
Definitely. Yeah. It's basically just like helps you to be, I would say, like also on the safe side. Like you need to see the numbers in front of your eyes. And the good thing with again digital tools that this analyzer is sort of available for your mobile. So let's say like you are on the go, you see like a property, okay, interesting. You can see the numbers, see, okay, this will be like the return. This is the cap rate.
Definitely takes those conversations to another level when you're discussing it with friends or family or colleagues, and you're looking at a potential property, and previously it might have just been an easy conversation or a loose conversation around a very basic, should we buy this opportunity? Whereas now you can, as you said, it's kind of in your pocket, if it were, you can really assess the actual detail of it. So hopefully you can kind of limit those potential mistakes, look at the right properties, and have all of the kind of the data you need. And yeah, we're very big proponents on data. Very pleased that there's lots of new data kind of solutions out there, and I think this is a fabulous one from a portfolio point of view for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the last point, by the way, like the last principle is like it's related to what we just spoke, is like make decisions based on data, less on intuition. And I think this is very important. Like,
yeah,
put the data in front of your eyes, to have like a tool that you can take a look and analyze and like make the next, like decide on your next step based on data. You know, I'm biased, but I think Lendlord is a great tool for that. So yeah, I think, by the way, it's like, as I said, it's a free to use the core functionality. There is a premium plan if you want to link your bank account. But all the core functionality is free to use. And, yeah, so I invite all the listeners that watch this video just like to sign up free and give us also feedback. We love to get feedback, and we enhance the platform with a lot of feedback that we get from users.
Yeah, thank you, Abraham, and thank you very much for showing us the product today. I think from our side, when we kind of started to have a look at it, you do spend more time and realize the scope of what it can do and how it can really assist both the kind of the day-to-day portfolio management, like we touched on with the notifications and things like electricity certificates and gas certificates, but also portfolio planning. So looking forward in the future, what sorts of properties might you want to buy, and stress testing your existing portfolio, understanding kind of how that's currently performing at the moment. And it comes back to one of the earlier questions, which is how long kind of does it take to kind of manage and maintain it. If you're an active landlord and investor and you want to kind of dig in and spend more time on it, you have so many different features and functionality in there that I think you can get really good insights onto how a portfolio could perform. But likewise, if you want to keep it relatively high level, you can just do quick assessments on properties as well. I think that's where the value is. So yeah, great to hear that you've got a free solution as well, which gives people an easy way to kind of get started. And then if they do want to kick it on to the next level and look at more integrations, more functionality, there's opportunities there as well. So yeah, I think it's a really good solution. So I'd encourage anyone to go and have a look at the platform themselves. If you're brand new to property, if you're kind of experienced with the portfolio, I think it's worthwhile spending a little bit of time digging into it and seeing how it can assist your own kind of portfolio growth. So thank you very much, Avram.
Thank you very much for hosting. Thanks, Rob. And thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
We'll catch up on the next video. And if there's any questions, please feel free to ask. Always happy to help, whether that's directly to Avram or to ourselves, and we can kind of assist and help guide you through to the next level from there. Thank you very much. Bye.